Hare Krishna 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 Hare
Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Jai Shri Krishna Radhe Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधो जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते तप्त कंचन गौरंगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरये। बोलो श्री राधे गोलोकानंद भगवान की जय।
Jai.
बोलो श्रीमद् भागवतम की
Jai.
जय। हरे कृष्णा निशा
Hare Krishna.
कृष्णा और रीना जी हरे कृष्णा।
Hare Krishna Vaya, Hare Krishna everyone.
Hare Krishna,
Hare
everyone.
Krishna.
हरे कृष्णा शिवा प्रभु।
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
कृष्णा हाउ आर यू?
Nice, Prabhuji. Thank you.
Yes. I think Ajay Prabhu is probably doing a marathon, maybe Boston Marathon, I guess. There's a marathon in Boston today. So, all right. So we'll start. Last week हम लोगों ने 21st अध्याय शुरू किया, right? We completed the 20th one. और ये 9th स्कंद है. इसमें पहले हम लोगों ने सूर्य देव के डिसेंडेंट्स के बारे में पढ़ा, right? इक्ष्वाकु, Vivasvat Manu, and then Ikshvaku Maharaj, and then everyone else. And then we are now reading about the Somdev, Chandradev's descendancy. So last week we are also reading about Yayati Maharaj, if you remember, right? We read about Yayati Maharaj and then his descendants, and then Puru Maharaj was his son, Yayati's youngest son, Yayati Maharaj's youngest son. We read about his descendant, and then we actually read about Bharat Maharaj last, right? So we all know Bharat Maharaj, and then so we read about Shakuntala Devi and Dushyant Maharaj as well. And now we are continue to read the descendants of Bharat Maharaj. And last week we read Shlok 25th, and we'll restart from Shlok 25th actually. So Anilji.
Sakratyam Shukakanyayam Brahmadattam Jijanat Yogi Sagavi Varyayam Vishwasaksena Dhatasatam. King Nipa begot a son named Brahmadatt through the womb of his wife Krithvi, who was the daughter of Shuka. And Brahmadatta, who was a great yogi, begot a son named Visavksena through the womb of his wife Saraswati. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So we are actually reading descendants of Maharaj Puru, who was the youngest son of Maharaj Yayati. Yeah, a nice purport. So let's read this. Nisha.
The Suk mentioned here is different from the Sukdev Goswami who spoke Srimad Bhagavatam. Sukdev Goswami, the son of Vasudeva, is described in great detail in the Brahma Vaivrata Puran. There it is said that Vasudev mentioned the daughter of Jabali as his wife, and that after they performed penances together for many years, he placed his seed in her womb. The child remained in the womb of his mother for 12 years, and when the father asked the son to come out, the son replied that he would not come out unless he were completely liberated from the influence of Maya. Vasudev then assured the child that he would not be influenced by Maya, but the child did not believe his father, for the father was still attached to his wife and children. Vasudev then went to Dwarka and informed the personality of Godhead about his problem. And the personality of Godhead, as Vasudeva's request, went to Vasudeva's cottage, where he assured the child in the womb that he would not be influenced by Maya. Thus assured, the child came out, but he immediately went away as parivraj, Parivrajikacharya. When the father, very much aggrieved, began to follow his saintly boy, Sukdev Goswami, the boy created a duplicate Sukdev who later entered family life. Therefore, the Sukakanya or daughter of Sukdev mentioned in the verse is the daughter of the duplicate or imitation Sukdev. The original Sukdev was lifelong brahmachari. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah. So what is mentioned here is the story of Sukdev Goswami Maharaj. Sukdev Goswami is the one who is reciting this Srimad Bhagavatam right now to Parikshit Maharaj, right? And what is mentioned, like now that we are reading the descendants of Maharaj Puru, the Sukdev Sukh, which is mentioned here in the shlok, right? Here the Shuk Kanyayam, right, is not the original Sukdev Goswamiji, is what is mentioned, because the original Sukdev Goswamiji was brahmachari. And what is interesting is he did not come out of the womb of his mother, right, for a long time, till, says he, unless he was completely liberated from the influence of Maya. That's the height of brahmacharya which Sukdev Goswamiji had. And there are a lot of other stories about Sukdev Goswamiji, like he was total Vairagya brahmachari, right? Even ahead of Vyasdevji himself. Yeah. So nice to read that. Okay. Rinaji?
जैगीषव्योपदेशेन योगतन्त्रं चकारः उदकसेनस्ततस्तस्माद् भल्लाटो बाहर्दिशवा. Following the instructions of the great sage Jagisavya, Viswaksena compiled an elaborate description of the mystic yoga system. From Viswaksena, Udaksena was born, and from Udaksena, Ballat. All these sons are known as descendants of Brihadishu. इतना complicated name रखने की क्या जरूरत है? Sorry.
So the point is, Rinaji, is that नाम रखने की जो जरूरत अलग है, but think about Sukdev Goswamiji, who remembers all these names. He remembers all the descendants, right? Think about that, right? So Baharadish, and all these names had some meanings to those names, right?
Mhm.
Oh, yeah. Cool. Shiva Prabhu?
Vinaro duimi dasya kritimam statutsatah smritah nanma satyadhritasya dadhenemiyaha supashar. The son of Dvimidha was Yavi Nara, whose son was Kritiman. The son of Kritiman was well known as Satyadhriti. From Satyadhriti came a son named Dradhanemi, who became the father of Suparsva. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah, and and as Rinaji was mentioning, right? In fact, this evening we are discussing, and a lot of the kids, they're keeping the name as Agastya. I don't know if you've heard about it. A lot of new names is Agastya, so you'll feel that that's complex name. And there was a name of the Agastya Muni, right? But these days, that's a new wave. Like people are keeping name as August. So,
Yeah.
Hare Krishna, Sachin.
Hare Krishna, everybody. Suparshvat सुमतिस्तस्य पुत्रः सन्नतिमांस्ततः कृति हिरण्यनाभाद् यो योगं प्राप्य जगौ स्म षट् संहिताः प्राच्य साम्नाः वै निपो व्युग्रायुधस्ततः तस्य क्षेम्यः सुवीरस्य रिपुञ्जयः. From Suparshva came a son named Sumati. From Sumati came Sannatiman, and from Sannatiman came Kriti, who achieved mystic power from Brahma and taught 6 Samhitas of the Prachya Shama, verses of the Samaveda. The son of Kriti was Nipa, the son of Nipa, Udgrayudha, the son of Udgrayudha, Shemya, the son of Shemya, Suvira, and the son of Suvira, Ripunjaya. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. And what is interesting also is when Sukdev Goswami is describing all the descendants of Somdev, Chandradev, right? You also see in between, right? You will hear about those yogis and the kings, right? Like for example, here, yeah, Shantiman, yeah, from them came Kriti, who achieved mystic power from Lord Brahma himself, yeah, and then taught 6 Samhitas in the Prachya verses of the Samved. So, lot of contribution from those Rishi Munis and the descendants is what is also described. Hare Krishna, Ajay.
हरे कृष्णा. सॉरी सर, लेट हो गया आज.
कोई नहीं, हमें लगा कि you are in the Boston Marathon actually.
I was running in my dreams. ततो बहुरथो नाम पुरुमीढो प्रजो अभवत् नलिन्यामजमीढस्य नीलः शान्तिस्तु ततत्सुतः. From Ripujanya came a son named Bahurath. Purumidha was sonless. Ajmedha had a son named Nila by his wife known as Nalini, and then the son of Nila was Shanti. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. शांति सुशांतिस्तपुत्र है पुरुजो अक्रस्थितो अभवत् धर्म्या स्वस्तनयस्तस्य पंचा समुद्र जलादयः यवि नरो बृहदिश्वः कम्पिल्यः सज्जयः सुता भम्याश्वः प्राह पुत्रा मे पंचानां रक्षणाय हि विश्यानामल्लिमे इति पंचाल संगीता वृद्धिलाद ब्रह्म निर्वर्तम गोत्रम मोद्दल्य संगीतम. The son of Shanti was Sushanti. The son of Sushanti was Puruja, and the son of Puruja was Ark. From Ark came Brahmashva, and from Brahmasva came 5 sons: Mudgala, Yavinar, Brihadvishwa, Kampila, and Sanjaya. Brahmashva prayed to his sons, "O my sons, please take charge of my 5 estates, for you are quite competent to do so." Thus his 5 sons were known as the Panchalyas. From Mudgala came a dynasty of Brahmins known as Mudgala. Hare Krishna, Mayur.
हरे कृष्ण.
पढ़ोगे?
हाँ. मिथुनम मुद्गलाद भर्म्यांत देवतांश पुमान भूत अहिल्या कन्यका यस्याम शतानंदस्तु गौतमात्. Mudgala, the son of Brahmasya, had 2 children, one male and the other female. The male child was named Divodasa, and the female child was named Ahilya. And from the womb of Ahilya, by the semen of her husband Gautam, came a son named Satanand. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. And we all know the story of Ahilya Mata, right? And Gautam Muni. Yeah. And how Ahilya's becomes a stone and Lord Ramchandra, yeah, with his feet, Ahilya Mata ko taarte hain, right? So we know that story also. Hare Krishna, Tarun.
Hare Krishna. तस्य सत्य धृति है पुत्रो धनुवेर्द विशारदा शरदस्वं तत्सुतो यस्मद् उर्वशी दर्शनात् किला शरस्तंभे पतत् प्रेतो मिथुनं तद अभ्युक् शुभम. The son of Satananda was Shatradriti, who was expert in archery, and the son of Shatradriti was Saradhwan. When Saradhwan met Urvashi, he discharged semen which fell on a clump of sara grass. From this semen were born two all auspicious babies, one male and the other female. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Anil? Anilji?
Tad drastva kripya grachachant nurmagrayam charan kripaha kumara kanyacha drona patnya bhavat kripi. While Maharaj Santanu was on a hunting excursion, he saw the male and female children lying in the forest, and out of compassion he took them home. Consequently, the male child was known as Kripa, and the female child was known as Kripi. Kripi later became the wife of Dronacharya. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah. So what was described in the previous shlok, right? One girl and the one boy were none other than Kripacharya. Yeah. You have seen Mahabharata and you've seen Kripacharya, right? And then Kripacharya's sister Kripi became wife of Dronacharya. Yeah. We all know Dronacharya and Kripacharya, and then Kripi was the wife of Dronacharya. And then this ends the Bhaktivedanta purpose of the 9th canto, 21st chapter of the Srimad Bhagavatam, called entitled The Dynasty of Bharat. Yeah. So what we are reading right now is the dynasty of Bharat Maharaj. Yeah. And which started from the dynasty of Somdev, Chandradev. So we'll continue to read the 22nd adhyay, which is the descendants of Ajamit. Nisha?
Shri Shuka Uvacha Mitrayushcha Divo Dasacha Vanastas Sutondrapa Sudasah Sahadevo Adha Somako Jantu Janma Krita. Sukdev Goswami said, O king, the son of Devodas was Mitrayu, and from Mitrayu came 4 sons named Shavana, Sudas, Sahadeva, and Somaka. Somaka was the father of Jantu. Hare Krishna.
You ready?
श्रेया तस्य पुत्रशतं तेषां यवीयान् पृष्ठतः सुतः स तस्मात् द्रुपदो जज्ञे सर्वसम्पत्समन्वितः. Somak had 100 sons, of whom the youngest was Prashata. From Prasata was born King Drupad, who was opulent in all supremacy. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. And we have all heard about King Drupad, right? You heard about King Drupad in Mahabharata?
Yes.
Yeah, Prabhu?
Drupadat Draupadi Tasya Drishtadumandya Drishtadumanda Drishtaketurbhamarya Paschalaka ime. From Maharaj Drupad, Draupadi was born. Maharaj Drupad also had many sons headed by Drishtadyumna. From Drishtadyumna came a son named Drishtaketu, and all these personalities are known as the descendant of Bharmaswa or as the dynasty of Panchala. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah. So we know about Maharaj Drupad, right? We know about Draupadi. Everyone knows Draupadi's Swamvar, right? Which was done by Maharaj Drupad. And Drishtadumna, Drishtadumna, he was the Senapati of Pandus, right? Son of Maharaj Drupad. Yeah. Sachin?
Yo Ajimedhasuto Yunya Vrukshah Samvaranastataha Tapatyam Surya Kanyayam Kurukshetrapatihi Kuruhu Parikshihi Sudha Nurshi Shadhascha Kuroho Sutaha Suhotro Abhut Sudhanush Shashchava Noth Tatah Kruti. Another son of Ajamidha was known as Raksha. From Raksha came a son named Samvarna, and from Samvarna, through the womb of his wife Tapati, the daughter of the sun god, came Kuru, the king of Kurukshetra. Kuru had four sons, Parikshi, Sudhanu, Jahanu, and Nishadha. From Sudhanu, Suhotra was born, and from Suhotra, Chavana, and from Chavana, Kriti was born. Hare Krishna.
Ajay? Ajay? Ajay, unmute.
Oops, sorry. Vasustasyo Paricharo Brihathamukhastataha Kusham Mastas Pratte Grechi Dipadasya Chedisha. The son of Kriti was Uparikara Vasu, and among his sons headed by Brihadarth were Kushambha, Matsya, Pratyagara, and Chipida. All the sons of Uparika Vasu became rulers of the Shedi state. Hare Krishna.
Madhu?
Is it me, Gajan?
Yeah, you can read Tarun. Yeah.
Bradratha Kusagro Bhud Rabhyastasya Tat Sutah Jajne Satyahito Patam Yam Puspaswam Tat Suto Jahuha. From Bradratha, Kusagra was born. From Kusagra, Rashba, and from Rashba, Satyahita. The son of Satyahita was Puspavan, and the son of Puspavan was Jahu. Hare Krishna.
Madhu?
Anyasam bharyayam shakle bruhadrashad ye matro bahir utsrase जर्या चाभिसन्धिते जीव जीवितेत क्रीडन्त्या जरासन्ध्यो भवतु सुतः. Through the womb of another wife, Bharata begot two halves of a son. When the mother saw those two halves, she rejected them, but later a she-demon named Jara playfully joined them and said, "Come to life, come to life." Thus the son named Jarasandh was born. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So see how Jarasandh was born, right? Tatascha sah devo abhut somapiryaschutta shava parikshana patyo abhut surto nama jarivah. From Jarasandh came a son named Sahadev, from Sahadev Sompi, and from Sompi Shutushava. The son of Kuru called Parikshi had no sons, but the son of Kuru called Jihanu had a name called Surta. Anil?
ततो विदुरतस्त स्मात् सर्वभौमस्ततो भवत जयसेनस्ततन्नयो राधिको तो युताब्धभूत. From Surat came a son named Vidurath, from whom Sarvabhauma was born. From Sarvabhauma came Jayasen, from Jayasen Radhika, and from Radhika Ayutayu. Hare Krishna.
Now, Nisha?
ततश्चाक्रोधन स्माद देवातिधीरमुष्यच वृक्षस्तस्य दिलीपो अभूत् प्रतीपस्तस्य चात्मजः. From Ayutayu came a son named Akrodhana, and his son was Devatithi. The son of Devatithi was Raksha, and the son of Raksha was Dilipa, and the son of Dilip was Pratipa. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. And again, like, right, we are reading about descendants of Somdev, Chandradev, and then continuously reading about Maharaj Yayati's descendants, Maharaj Bharat, and so on, right? Rinaji?
शान्तनुस्तस्य बार्हिक इति चात्मजा पितृराज्यं परित्यज्य देवापिस्तु वनं गतः. अभवक्षान्तनु राजा प्राङ्गमहाभिषङ्गितः यं यं कराभ्यां स्पृशति जीर्णं यवनमेति सः. The son of Pratibha were Devapi, Santanu, and Bahlek. Devapi left the kingdom of his father and went to the forest, and therefore Shantanu became the king. Shantanu, who in his previous birth was known as Mahabhish, had the ability to transform anyone from old age to youth simply by touching that person with his hands. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. We have read about King Shantanu, right? I think most of us have heard that name. Sachin?
Shanti mapnoti chaivagram karmana tena shantanuh sama dvadasha tadrajye na navavarsha yada vibhu shantanu brahmanye ruktah परिवेक्ताय मग्रभुक् राज्यं देयग्रह जायाशु पुर राष्ट्र विवृद्धये. Because the king was able to make everyone happy for sense gratification, primarily by the touch of his hand, his name was Shantanu. Once, when there was no rainfall in the kingdom for 12 years and the king consulted his learned Brahminical advisors, they said, "You are faulty for enjoying the property of your elder brother. For the elevation of your kingdom and home, you should return the kingdom to him." Hare Krishna.
Shiva Prabhu?
Eva mukto dvijajeshtham chandayamas soabravit tan mantri prahiter viprorvedad vikira ved vadativad tada devo vavarshah devapir yogamasthai kalapa gramamashritrah. When the Brahman said this, Maharaj Shantanu went to the forest and requested his elder brother Devapi to take charge of the kingdom, for it is duty of the king to maintain his subjects. Previously, however, Shantanu's minister Ashvara had instigated some Brahmins to induce Devapi to transgress the injunctions of the Vedas and thus make himself unfit for the post of ruler. The Brahmanas deviated Devapi from the path of the Vedic principles, and therefore, when asked by Shantanu, he did not agree to accept the post of ruler. On the contrary, he blasphemed the Vedic principles and therefore became fallen. Under the circumstances, Shantanu again became the king, and Indra, being pleased, showered rains. Devapi later took the path of mystic yoga to control his minds and senses and went to the village named Kalapa Grama, where he is still living. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So again, another important thing, right? Devapi is still living in Kalabgra, right? Now, like we also read about Surya Dev descendants. I mean, I don't know if you remember the name of who is also living, and at the end of Kali Yuga, he is going to be able to restart the Surya Vansh. And similarly, now Devapi, right, as a descendant of Somdev, he is still living. At the end of Kali Yuga, he will restart the Som Vansh. Ajay?
सोमवंशे कलौ नष्टे कृतादौ स्थापत्यष्यति ब्राह्मिकास्तो मद्दत्तो भूर्भुवस्वस्ततः शलश्च शान्तनो रासीद गंगाया भीष्म आत्मवन सर्वधर्मर्विदां श्रेष्ठो महाभागवतः कवि. After the dynasty of the moon god comes to the end of its age of Kali, Devapi, in the beginning of the next Satyuga, will re-establish the Som dynasty in this world. From Bahalika, the brother of Shantanu, came a son named Somdat, who had three sons named Bhurvaswa and Shala. From Shantanu, through the womb of his wife Ganga, came Bhishma, the exalted self-realized devotee and learned scholar. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So a couple of things mentioned here is, we just talked about Devapi, yeah, at the end of Kali Yuga. The next yuga starts is Satyuga, right? That's a cycle. So Satyuga, Treta Yuga, Dwapar Yuga, and Kali Yuga. And then again, there's another yuga cycle. So like this, how many yuga cycles happen in one day, in one Manuvanta? During one Manu, how many yuga cycles happen? Remember?
71.
71 yuga cycles, right? We have 14 Manus in one day of Lord Brahma. In one Manu, we have 71 yuga cycles. And each yuga cycle is 4,032,000 years. Yeah. So Devapi will restart the Som dynasty at the end of Kali Yuga is what is mentioned here. And also mentioned is from Shantanu and Ganga Maya, as we know that, right? Bhishma Pitama was born. So that's also mentioned here. Tarun?
Virayutyagnarir Ramospi Yudhitoshitaha Shanto na Daryasankanyayam Jagye Chitrangnadaga Sutaha. Bhishma Deva was the foremost of all warriors. When he defeated Lord Parshurama in a fight, Lord Parshurama was very satisfied with him. But the semen of Santanu in the womb of Satyavati, the daughter of a fisherman, Chandragada, took birth. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah, so Bhishma Deva was such a warrior, he defeated even Lord Parshuram. Yeah. Nice purple. Let's read this. Mayur.
Satyavati was actually the daughter of Uparichara Vasu by the womb of a fisherwoman known as Matsya Garbha. Later, Satyavati was raised by a fisherman. The fight between Parshuram and Bhishma Dev concerns three daughters of Kashiraj, Ambika, Ambalika, and Amba, who were forcibly abducted by Bhishma Dev. Acting on behalf of his brother Vichitravirya, Amba thought that Bhishma Dev would marry her and became attached to him. But Bhishma Dev refused to marry her, for he had taken the vow of brahmacharya. Amba therefore approached Bhishma Deva's military spiritual master Parshuram, who instructed Bhishma to marry her. Bhishma Dev refused, and therefore Parshuram fought with him to force him to accept the marriage. But Parshuram was defeated, and he was pleased with Bhishma. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So the background given is why there was a fight between Bhishma Pitama and Lord Parshuram. Anilji?
Vichitraviryascharjo namna chitrangado hatah yasyam parasharat sakshadavatirno Hare Kala Vedgupto Muni Krishna Yato Hamida Madhyagam Hitva Swashyana Pahladin Bhagwan Badarayana Mahyam Putraय Shantaय Param Guhyamidam Jago Vichitra Viryo Thao Vaha Kashi Raj Sute Balat Swayamvarad Upani Te Ambikam Balike Uhe Tayo Rasa Krata Hridayo Grahito Yakshmana Ratah Chitrangada, of whom Vichitravir was the younger brother, was killed by a Gandharv who was also named Chitrangada. Satyavati, before her marriage to Santanu, gave birth to the master authority of the Vedas, Vyasadeva, known as Krishna Dvaipayan, who was begotten by Parashar Muni. From Vyasadeva I, Sukadev Goswami, was born, and from him I studied this great work of literature, Srimad Bhagavatam. The incarnation of Godhead, Vedavyasa, rejecting his disciples, headed by Paila, instructed Srimad Bhagavatam to me because I was free from all material desires. After Ambika and Ambalika, the two daughters of Kshairaja were taken away by force, Vichitravirya married them. But because he was too attached to these two wives, he had a heart attack and died of tuberculosis. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So few things mentioned here are, first is Lord Vyasdev. Yeah. Vyasdev ji was born to Satyavati and Parashar Muni. Yeah. And then of course from Vyasdev ji, who is the Sukdev Goswami ji, was born. Yeah. Sukdev Goswami is the one who is reciting this Srimad Bhagavatam to Parikshit Maharaj. Yeah. Nisha?
क्षेत्रे प्रजस्य वै भ्रातुर्मात्रोक्तो बादरायणः धृतराष्ट्रं च पाण्डुं च विदुरं चाप्यजीजन. Badarayana Sri Vasudeva, following the order of his mother Satyavati, begot 3 sons, 2 by the womb of Ambika and Ambalika, the 2 wives of his brother Vichitravirya, and the third by Vichitravirya's maidservant. These sons are Dhritarashtra, Pandu, and Vidur. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah. So Vyas Devji is also known as Badrayana. Yeah. And I think if we have, all of us have probably seen Mahabharata, right? Where we see how Dhritarashtra and Pandu and Vidur was born, right? How Vedvyaji comes and then, those 3 sons are born. Tinaji?
गान्धार्यां धृतराष्ट्रस्य यज्ञे पुत्रशतं नृप तत्र दुर्योधनो ज्येष्ठो दुःशला चापि कन्यका. Hare Krishna. Dhritarashtra's wife Gandhari gave birth to 100 sons and 1 daughter, O king. The oldest of the sons was Duryodhan and the daughter's name was Dushala. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, right? And we know Gandhari is and Dhritarashtra giving birth to 100 sons, right? Sachin?
शापान् मैथुन रुद्धस्य पाण्डोः कुन्त्यां महारथः जाता धर्मा नीलेन्द्रेभ्यो युधिष्ठिरमुखास्त्रयः नकुलः सहदेवश्च माद्रायां नास्त्यदस्त्रयोः द्रौपद्यां पञ्चभ्यः पुत्रस्ते पितरो भवन्. Pandu was restrained from sexual life because of having been cursed by a sage, and therefore his 3 sons Yudhishthira, Bhima, and Arjuna were begotten through the womb of his wife Kunti by Dharmaraja, by the demigod controlling the wind, and by the demigod controlling the rain. Pandu's second wife, Madri, gave birth to Nakula and Sahadev, who were begotten by the 2 Ashwini Kumaras. The 5 brothers, headed by Yudhishthira, begot 5 sons through the womb of Draupadi. These 5 sons were your uncles. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Saying were your uncles because whom is Sukdev Goswami is talking to? Parikshit Maharaj, right? And Parikshit Maharaj is son of whom?
Abhimanyu.
Abhimanyu.
Right, yeah. Abhimanyu and Uttara, right? And Abhimanyu is son
Arjuna.
of Arjuna,
Arjuna.
right? So Arjun's son. So that's where it's talking about Draupadi's sons. They were your uncles, is what Shukdev Goswami is telling to Parikshit Maharaj. Shiva Prabhu?
Yudhishthirath Prativindhyah Shutaseno Vrikodarat Arjunachut Shatanikastu Nakuliha. From Yudhishthira came a son named Prativindhya. From Bhima a son named Shrutasena, and from Arjuna a son named Shrutakirti, and from Nakula a son named Satanika. Hare Krishna.
Sajiv?
Sadeva Suto Rajan Chut Karma Tatha Pare Yudhishthirath Tu Paurachasya Devkut Ghatotkachaha Bhimsenadvi Hidimbayam Kalyam सर्वमतस्ततः सहदेववाद सुहोत्रम tu Vijayasut Parvati. O king, the son of Sadev was Shrukarma. Furthermore, Yudhishthir sent his brother begot another sons and other wives. Yudhishthira begot a son named Devaka through the womb of Pauravi, and Bhimsena begot a son named Ghatotkash through his wife Hidimba, and a son named Sarvagata through his wife Kali. Similarly, Sadev had a son named Suhotra through his wife named Vijaya, who was the daughter of the king of the mountains. Hare Krishna.
Tarun?
Karenumatyam Nakulo Narmitram Tatharjuna Iravantamulyayam Ve Sutayam Babru Vahanam Manipurpateham Sopu Tasaputram Putrika Sutaha. Nakula begot a son named Naramitra through his wife named Karanumati. Similarly, Arjuna begot a son named Iravan through his wife named Ulupi, the daughter of the Nagas, and a son named Babhruvahana by the womb of the princess of Manipura. Babhruvahana became the adopted son of the king of Manipura. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Read the purport, please. Mayur?
It is to be understood that Parvati is the daughter of the king of the very, very old mountainous country known as Manipur state. 5,000 years ago, therefore, when the Pandavas ruled Manipur, existed as did its king. Therefore, this kingdom is a very old aristocratic Vaishnav kingdom. If this kingdom is organized as a Vaishnav state, this revitalization will be a great success because for 5,000 years, the state has maintained its identity. If the Vaishnav spirit is revived, there it will be a wonderful place, renowned throughout the entire world. Manipuri Vaishnavas are very famous in Vaishnav society. In Vrindavan and Navadvipa, there are many temples constructed by the king of Manipur. Some of our devotees belong to Manipur state. The Krishna consciousness movement, therefore, can be well spread in the state of Manipur by the cooperative efforts of the Krishna conscious devotees. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So the Manipur state, which we know now, right, is what is described here. Tavetatah subhadraya abhimanyu yurjayata sarvatirtajida vira uttarayam tato bhavan. My dear King Parikshit, your father Abhimanyu was born from the womb of Subhadra as the son of Arjuna. He was the conqueror of all Atrirathas, those who could fight with 1,000 charioteers. From him, the womb of Uttara, the daughter of Viradraj, you were born. Yeah? So this is, of course, we know how Maharaj Parikshit was born. Yeah? Anilji?
Vikshedeshu kurusha dronar brahmastra tejasa tom cha Krishna ganubhavena sajivo mochito nantakat. After the Kuru dynasty was annihilated in the battle of Kurukshetra, you also were about to be destroyed by the Brahmastra, atomic weapon released by the son of Dronacharya. But by the mercy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, you were saved from death. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah, and if you remember, we read this in the first Iskan itself, right? How Drone Brahmastra Tejasa, like to give an end to the Pandu dynasty, son of Dronacharya Yeah, he had the Brahmastra and he dropped the Brahmastra on Uttara's womb. But then that was saved by the Lord Krishna himself. Parikshit Maharaj was in the womb of Uttara at that time. Lord Krishna himself saved him. That's why he is known as Parikshit Maharaj. And do you know who the son of Dronacharya was? Who threw the Brahmastra?
Ashwatthama?
Ashwathama, right? At the end of the battle, when everyone was annihilated, Ashwathama was still remaining, and we know that Ashwathama is Amar, right? He has a Vardhan that he is still there. And a lot of people have reported, like near the Narmada River in Gujarat, some people have even seen Ashwathama. But anyways, so the point is, so Ashwathama threw that Brahmastra, but by mercy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Tvam che Krishna anubhavena, yeah, Krishna anubhavena. Krishna himself, Lord Krishna himself, saved Parikshit Maharaj from Brahmastra. Yeah, no one can be saved from Brahmastra, but Parikshit Maharaj was saved by Lord Krishna himself. Nisha?
तवेमे तनयास्तात जन्मेजय पूर्वकाः श्रुतसेनो भीमसेन उग्रसेनश्च वीर्यवान्. O dear king, your four sons, Janmejaya, Shrutasena, Bhimasen, and Ugrasen, are very powerful. Janmejaya is the eldest. Hare Krishna.
Krishna. Rinaji?
जन्मेजयस्त्वां विदित्वा तक्षकान्निधनं गतं सर्पान्वय सर्पयाज्ञो स होष्यति रुषान्वितः. Because of your death by the Takshak snake, your son Janmejaya will be very angry and will perform a sacrifice to kill all the snakes in the world. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. And now Sukdev Goswami is telling Parikshit Maharaj what's going to happen after him, right? And we know the story, right? When Takshak Nag, yeah, so the Rishi had already told Parikshit Maharaj that Takshak Nag is going to bite you after, right? And he had 7 days. That 7 days is when he's hearing the Srimad Bhagavatam, right? To get out of the materialistic world. But what Sukdev Goswami is saying is after the Takshak Nag, yeah, Janmejaya, who is the eldest son of Parikshit Maharaj, will perform a sacrifice to kill all the snakes in the world, right? At that point in time. Sachin?
कालशेयं पुरोधाय तुरं तुरगमे दशात् समन्तात पृथ्वीं सर्वां जित्वा यक्षति चध्वरेः. After conquering throughout the world and after accepting Tura, the son of Kalasha, as his priest, Janmejaya will perform Ashwamedha Yajna, for which he will be known as Turaga Medha Shat. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So, Ashwamedh Yajna will also be performed by Parikshit Maharaj's son. Shiva Prabhu? Shiva Prabhu?
Yeah. तस्य पुत्रः शतानिको याज्ञवल्क्यात् त्रयीं पठन् अस्त्रज्ञानं क्रियाज्ञानं शौनकात् परमेष्यति. The son of Janmeja, known as Satanika, will learn from Yagnavalkya the 3 Vedas and the art of performing ritualistic ceremonies. He will also learn the military art from Kripacharya and the transcendental science from the sage Sonaka. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah, we all know Kripacharya Maharaj. And we also know the Sonak Muni, right? If you remember, Sonak Muni is the one when everyone gathered at Nemisaranya, Sonak Muni is the head of all the rishis. Yeah, and he is requesting Sud Goswamiji to recite this Srimad Bhagavatam because Sud Goswamiji was present when Sukdev Goswamiji was reciting this Srimad Bhagavatam to Parikshit Maharaj. Yeah, that's what we are reading right now. I think we'll pause here and we'll continue reading from Shlok 39 tomorrow. And we are going to hear a nice Radhe Krishna Kirtan from Kripaluji Maharaj's ashram. Yeah, it's around 10 minutes, so we'll hear it for 10 minutes.
Govind, Govind, निज चरण कमल की लगन लगा दे निज चरण कमल की उदाहरण विरद निभा दे। निज अधम उदाहरण विरद निभा दे। बिनु हेतु कृपा को रूप दिखा दे। बिनु हेतु कृपा को रूप दिखा दे। राधे गोविंद राधे। राधे गोविंद राधे। तू कृपालु कृपा बिनु मोल लुटा दे। तू कृपालु कृपा बिनु मोल लुटा दे। राधे गोविंद राधे। राधे गोविंद राधे। राधे गोविंद राधे। राधे गोविंद राधे। राधे गोविंद 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 राधे। राधे गोविंद 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 राधे। राधे 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 गोविंद राधे राधे गोविंद राधे गोविंद राधे राधे गोविंद राधे गोविंद राधे राधे गोविंद राधे 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 ओ राधे 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 ओ राधे 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 गोविंद राधे राधे गोविंद ओ राधे गोविंद राधे राधे गोविंद ओ राधे गोविंद राधे राधे गोविंद ओ राधे गोविंद राधे 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 ओ राधे गोविंद राधे राधे गोविंद राधे गोविंद राधे राधे गोविंद राधे गोविंद गोविंद राधे गोविंद गोविंद गोविंद
तो श्री राधे गोविंद भगवान की
Jai.
Jai.
Hare Krishna. Sorry, we got a little bit over time, but see you tomorrow, 9:30. Yeah.
Hare Krishna.
Hare
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.